When You Wish Upon a Star by Fred Canavan, read by Melvyn Hayes. On a dull, raw December morning, soft, wet saucers of snow swirled in the air, and a cold, miserable wind whined along the wharves and warehouses of the Thames. On Waterloo Station, a thin, scrawny man in a long black overcoat stamped his feet against the cold. A dewdrop fell from his nose onto his muffler as he bawled the news from his stall. "Evening Standard! King abdicates! Read all about it!" Across the station, a slight, shabbily dressed young woman, she might have passed for a domestic servant, showed her platform ticket to a porter and stepped into compartment 7 of the City of London steam train. A minute later, pale and trembling, she climbed down from the carriage and clung to the ticket barrier. The porter gave her a glance. Hadn't she been carrying something? He heard her sobs. "Can I help you, miss?" No, thank you." "Are you sure? Look, let me..." She pulled up a frayed collar of her coat. No, really, I'll be all right." "King abdicates! Read all about it!" echoed across the station as she limped away, lost forever in the cold and dismal streets of London. "That's the second one this year," said Edward Palfrey. "Wrapped up well, mind. Poor little blighter." "Good job you spotted him when you did, Albert." "Blimey, not much of a start in life for a lad, is it? Left on a luggage rack on the City of London." He sighed at the sadness of it all. "How old do you think he is?" asked the second porter. The head porter pursed his lips. He was a father of 5 and fancied himself an expert on such matters. "Just a few weeks, I reckon. Here, he's got some kind of label on him." He took his spectacles from his brass-buttoned railway waistcoat and squinted at the crumbled scrap of notepaper. "My name is Jack," he muttered. "Please let me keep my teddy bear." The second porter stirred his strong brown tea with a pencil. "What'll happen to him, Mr. Palfrey?" The head porter scratched his chin. "Orphanage, I suppose. St. Jeremy's over Basingstoke way, probably. They say Sister Clare's very good." He tucked the baby's ragged teddy bear, it was a cheap one from Woolworths, inside the blanket and lifted the telephone receiver. "Waterloo Station here, head porter speaking. Police headquarters, if you please." Some time later, a policewoman called Jack was taken away. Edward Palfrey, lighting his pipe, watched them fade into the mist. He dabbed at his eyes with a grimy handkerchief. "Drop of whiskey, Albert?" he said to the second porter. "I feel like a drop of whiskey all of a sudden. Keeps out the cold, you know." Good time Jimmy Jones slipped on his sheepskin jacket and slid £200 into the sharp scarf talons of the madam. "Same time next week, Mr. Sheemy?" "Yeah. Same girls too, Rosa. Both of them." "Of course, Sheemy. By the ways, I love your show. I always watch Wish Upon a Star. You make so many people happy." He flashed his newly whitened teeth. "Regular ray of sunshine, that's me." She flashed her long, shy eyelashes and slipped into his arms. Maybe I could be on your show one day, Sheemy, darling." "Don't phone me, I'll phone you," he laughed, echoing his catchphrase. "If you wish," caught his fancy. He might be on his teletrash show of wailing wallies and snarling tattooed chavs. "Bye, Mr. Sheemy," she said, slipping the notes into her bra. "See you next week, Starlink." "Maybe, baby," he laughed, and stepped outside the expensive Georgian townhouse. Would she ever try to blackmail him? Nah, she wouldn't dare. She ain't never seen no work permit. Comforted by this, he set his shiny red leather shoes on the short walk to Waterloo Station. As he entered, he felt a sharp tug on his sleeve. "Do excuse me," said a bedraggled elderly man. He reeked of gin. "But I'm looking for the City of London steam train. It used to stop here every day." "What?" said Jimmy. "You silly old goat. There ain't been no steam trains at Waterloo for 40 years. Any rate, get your hands off my sleeve before I have you thrown out. Where's the manager? Somebody ought to do something." He settled in a first-class compartment, put his feet up on the opposite seat, and lit a cigarette. His mobile rang. Jimmy Jones speaking. "Hiya, Jimmy, it's Joe here." "Hiya, Joe. And how's my little brother?" "Might have something for you," said the Professor of Industrial History. "I was nosing about the Midlands last week, and I came across an abandoned railway coach in an old sidings just outside Crewe. I did a bit of research, and guess what? It's from the old City of London steam train, taken out of service in '53, shoved in a shed and forgotten." Jimmy blew a smoke ring. "What's all this to me, Joey?" "Your show, Wish Upon a Star. A lot of nostalgia nerks out there, and the council say we can have the coach if we shift it at our expense." Jimmy thought about it. "Oh yeah, nostalgic nerks. Yeah. There was a dozy old dollop at Waterloo today rambling about the City of London. I reckon he might like to be on the telly. Hey, nice one, Joey." The king of daytime telly flashed his wallet in the station bar. "Another G&T, Jack?" "If you're sure, Mr. Jones, it's awfully kind of you." "No problem, my old mate. Now tell me again about this train. When the porter found you on the luggage rack with your teddy bear." "The City of London. Oh, it was a long time ago. I haven't seen her in 50 years or more." Jimmy smelt money. "Would you like to see her again, old pal?" "Well, just the once before well, you know. But after all this time, surely it's impossible." "Good time, Jimmy Jones," grabbed Jack's arms. "No, Jack, nothing's impossible. Not when you wish upon a star." Later, striding across the concourse at Waterloo, Jimmy made a call. "Joey, Jimmy here. That old coach thing, ready yet?" "Yeah, came up lovely too." "Get it to London for next week?" "Yeah, I think so." "Good on you, brother," said Jimmy, and rang off. He checked his watch. Did he have time for a visit to Rosa's? He thought he might. Sister Cecilia sniffed. "Well, my dear, in those days it was a great shame to be an unmarried mother, unlike today." "And your records are quite sure?" asked Kelly Marie. The nun opened a ledger and traced her finger down a column. "I'm told Sister Claire was quite meticulous. Oh yes, here we are. December the 10th, 1936. A boy. It was the day the king abdicated, actually." "Hey?" The king, my dear, King Edward, never mind. Shall we get on?" "How was the baby named?" asked the television researcher. "Jack, from the label his mother left on him, and Porter after his head porter at Waterloo Station. As simple as that, I'm afraid." "And the mother?" "She was never found. Look, would you care for some refreshments? I can have tea sent up." "Got a cheeseburger?" asked Kelly Marie. "A few chips and that." Sister Cecilia rustled away. Later, an excited Kelly Marie rang the studio. "It all checks out, Jimmy. Same guy. Gotta be. Gonna be a great show. In the hospitality suite of ZTV, Jack Porter, in his threadbare regimental blazer, somewhat bemused and a little shaken in drink, looked about the room. Why his new friend with the shiny red shoes had a huge house and so many cameras was a mystery. And who were all these young people running about and shouting? He sipped the latest of many gins, slathered a stick of mustard onto a sausage roll, and wondered. The ride in the Rolls Royce from his bed sit had set the curtains of Maple Drive twitching, and the salute from the liveried chauffeur had come as a surprise. Clearly Mr. Jones was a man of means. Kelly Marie skittered across the room in the jingle-jangle of Gothic punk chains and dangling earrings. Ready, Jack? Am I going to see Mr. Jones' collection of railway memorabilia? Kelly blushed. Collection? Yeah, you could say that. He's got a collection out there, all right. Well, it really is most kind. Got to move it, Jack. She took his arm and led him down the corridor. She opened the door, brushed crumbs from his blazer, and kissed his cheek. Enjoy it, Jack. Promise me. Oh, I will, my dear. I'm having a wonderful day. Okay, here goes. Kelly Marie gave him a gentle push. He tottered onto the stage to a bawling bedlam of baseball caps, bright lights and bling. Scores of chavs sneered and jeered as the old Disney tune syruped across the television studio. When you wish upon a star. Good time Jimmy in a silver diamante suit and a state-of-the-art hairpiece gripped his arm. Right here, right now, he bellowed. Give it up for Mr. Jack Porter. He leaned over his guest. Jack, you wished upon a star, and here you are. The sparkling gold curtain swished away to reveal a perfectly restored steam train coach. Let me take you there, oozed Jimmy. Let me take you to the compartment 7 of the City of London steam train, because, and I want to get a little serious here, folks, that's where Jack was found. December the 10th, 1936. Right, Jack? Yes, on the luggage rack. Gales of chavvy laughter rolled across the footlights. Jimmy hadn't finished yet. He's been a good sport, hasn't he? Yeah! They roared. Does he deserve the crown? Yeah! Kelly skipped on stage and placed a glittering crown on Jack's head. Congratulations, Jack. You're our grand old geezer of the month. And to go with it, beamed Jimmy, a cheque for £10,000. He opened the door of the coach. Jack stepped in. He was happy. The long, lonely, gin-sodded years of waiting on Waterloo Station were over. He had found her at last. He had found the City of London. He touched the luggage rack. It's all right, Mother, he breathed. I'm home now. That night, in his Earl's Court bedsit, Jack Porter tucked the cheque behind his alarm clock and sat his teddy bear in a high chair at the dining table. He slid the roast beef dinner from the microwave and opened a bottle of expensive red wine. It was a special occasion after all. He picked out a record, set it lovingly on the desk of his old-fashioned walnut radiogram, and swung the needle over. Jack smiled and poured a glass of wine and sang along to the music. When you wish upon a star. The end.